Hi cuties, welcome back to my channel. I'm Skylar. If you're new to my channel, I try to post every week either about like skincare or like trends related things or beauty or just like life experiences. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also the little bell notification so you get notified every time I post. It's been 10 months since I've been on HRT. I started late February and kind of early March-ish. That's when I got my first injection, and I think I started taking the anti-testosterone like a week or two before that. So it's been like 10 or 11 months since I started HRT, so I just kind of wanted to make an update video since I haven't done one of those yet, kind of talk about what the first 10 months have been like. So without further ado, let's play that intro and let's get started. I just want to preface the video by saying that not every trans person has to go through HRT. It's just something that I did to make myself happier and that I think I needed to do. Every trans person has a different kind of aim and like goal of where they want to be. Never feel like you have to take HRT just to conform to society. Within the first month of me starting HRT, I realized that I started to grow like these little boobs. They were really sensitive at first and they're still kind of tender, but the first kind of like 3 months or so, they were super sensitive. They were just trying to grow. So like imagine like going from like no breast to like starting to grow boobs. It felt like there was like a bruise on my nipple every single day. I'd do anything. I was like, I want to make sure I don't touch it or anything. And that's kind of the first immediate thing that I noticed about HRT, other than the fact that my skin started getting softer and smoother. It didn't like fix all my issues, but like it definitely did help make my skin appear more smooth, and like my pores aren't as deep as they used to be. There aren't as many bumps on my skin. I had a reduction in acne, things like that. The next thing I noticed was the redistribution of my body weight. My body weight kind of shifted from like just like a skinny, scrawny little boy to like a more like curvier, skinnier, scrawny little boy. So like I used to be kind of just like not like I had a little bit of a curve, but like since I started HRT, like in the 3rd month or so, I've slowly realized that my body has gotten curvier. So my waist has gotten smaller, and my hips have kind of gotten bigger. So fat redistributes like the butt area and the hip area. So when it used to be like on the waist, it kind of like just shifted down a little bit to give me more of like a quote like feminine figure. Also, one thing I noticed with my body when it was redistributing weight is that I started gaining a little bit more weight. I guess like my metabolism slowed down a little bit, in addition to the fact that I was growing boobs. So I put on like 5 or 10 pounds, which I wasn't like super like, oh my gosh, I'm putting on weight, because I'm like, I knew I was like putting on some boobs and putting on like fat like in different areas of my body. So the next thing that I kind of started slowly to realize between month like 3 and 4 is that my body hair started to become a little more smoother and less hairy, like less prickly. Especially my legs, I realized that these leg hairs used to be super like jagged and like not smooth, and like even when I shaved they wouldn't be like super nice. But now, since I've been taking HRT for 10 months, the skin has gotten softer, the hair there kind of has gotten softer as well, and I think the growth of the hair on the legs are kind of slowed down as well. One thing I did realize while I was on HRT in terms of hair growth is that I started growing hair in places that I didn't really used to have hair, and I'm not sure if that's because like I was still going through male puberty and like it wasn't offset in like soon enough, and now I'm starting to grow like kind of like fuzz on my thighs. I used to not have like fuzz on like my belly, and now I'm starting to grow like fuzz like right all over my belly. So I'm not sure if that's effects of the HRT itself, or if that's just me starting HRT a little later than I wanted to. I'm not sure if it's a side effect or what it is, but the hair that's growing isn't like super stubbly hair. It's like fuzz that I'm not like super bothered with. I wouldn't even try to like get laser hair removal for it, because it's just like a little like little fuzz, you know? Another thing that I realized is the loss in muscle mass I had, which is a common thing for people who are on estrogen or people who are on anti-testosterone. The muscle mass and like kind of like development of muscles gets slowed down. So I used to have like muscly like calves. My legs were getting like more, they weren't like as jagged, like they weren't like muscle, but they were more like leg, you know? So the last thing that I want to mention is the emotional and kind of psychological effects of HRT. Personally for me, I was on antidepressants at the start of my HRT, so I think I didn't really feel the effects of the potential like psychological effects of it. But now after the half-year mark, kind of like after 5 or 6 months when I was off my antidepressants, I kind of felt the shift in mood in terms of how HRT affected my mood. Things like I was more easily prone to be sad, things like that. Things like little things would make me sad or depressed, things like that. So that's one thing that I've realized about HRT and taking hormones, is that it does kind of like fuck with my psychological and like mental kind of state, but not enough for me to be like super worried. But I would say that like if you do realize that there is a mood change when you are on HRT, I would definitely say go to your primary care provider or go to your therapist, psychiatrist, whatever it is. Definitely talk to them because the last thing you would want is to have HRT have such a negative impact on your life. So that's one of the last thing I wanted to mention, and I think one of the most important things about it is that it's not just going to affect your body, but it's also going to affect your mind. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. There are a couple things that I could mention in maybe like my 1-year HRT video, like things like a sex drive, more about kind of more in depth about my body and like how it's changed, and definitely more about my psyche and like my mental state and things like that. So there's definitely a lot more than I can talk about. So if you guys did like this video, make sure you like the video, share it, comment, subscribe. It's gonna help me know that y'all like the video and that like this is something that people are actually interested in. So that's pretty much all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I love you cuties. I'll see you next week. Bye!